Hello and welcome to this third EPSI webinar regarding the factor of agreeableness, the second factor of the Big Five model. The agreeableness is the characteristic of a person who demonstrates a desire to work with and help others. The first trait of agreeableness is empathy, which is a person's degree of sensitivity to other people's situation. There are some advantages to have a lower level of empathy, such as being able to put appropriated distance between own work activities and the problems of others, and also are less distracted by unfortunate situations and experiences by others. A disadvantage of having a lower level of empathy is that these people does not always listen actively to people in need, and they can sometimes be indifferent and lacking in compassion regarding other people's problems at work. Having a high level of empathy generally means people have strong listening skills. They are very understanding generally of people experiencing difficulties at work. On the other hand, they may make other people's problem his or her own, thus distracting from their own objectives, and they may have difficulty focusing on their own activities out of empathy for others. A simple item for this trait could be, I tend to feel badly for someone who embarrasses himself or herself at work. Links with the trait of peace of mind, stress tolerance, work orientation, and the overall factor of extraversion could be useful in order to appreciate the level of empathy. The second trait is altruism, a person's level of altruism and tendency to help others in the workplace. A lower level of altruism means they generally finds it easy to concentrate on their own completing a task, and they place this importance on fulfilling their own goals, regardless of the difficulties that are maybe encountered by the others. A disadvantage of having a lower level of altruism is that they does not usually offers to help others, and they are not necessarily perceived as people who seeks to establish an atmosphere of, let's say, mutual support and collaboration. Having a high level of altruism have some advantage, such as helping people who are experiencing difficulties in the workplace, and also more oftenly making everything in their power to assist people in need. A disadvantage of being very altruistic could be the inclination toward helping others that may undermine their ability to meet their own goals, and also by giving priority to others, you're not less focusing on your own effectiveness. A simple item could be, I would do everything possible to help others who are unhappy at work. Links could be made with orientation towards result that we are going to see as the first trait of consciousness. The third trait is sociability, which extends to which a person enjoys engaging and spending time with coworkers during social activities. When having a lower level of sociability, they generally feel fulfilled in a work situation where there's little interaction with others, and they find it easy to work in a professional environment that requires more solitary activities. On the other hand, they may have difficulty to work in the environment which requires interactions with others, and they also may have difficulty bonding with coworkers, especially when it's necessary. They may appear more detached and even cold in relations with others. An advantage of being really sociable at work is encouraging the establishment of amicable professional relationships in the workplace, and also being able to work in a context of frequent social interactions. A disadvantage could be investing a lot of time in socializing with people rather than attending to own work, and also find it more difficult to experience satisfaction when a work environment does not offer a lot of interactions with others. A simple item could be, it does not bother me to work for several days without speaking to anyone. The traits of dominance, persuasion, and independence of mind are useful to link to sociability. And finally, the fourth and last trait of agreeableness is team-oriented, the degree of a person's preference for teamwork or individual work. Having a lower level of team orientation means people who work well in a context where teamwork is rarely required. Also, these people has less need to belong to a team in order to feel secure at work. On the other hand, they may lack motivation when asked to work as a part of a team and may have difficulty achieving hers or his potential in team environment or where the collaboration with others are frequent in the context of work. Higher level of team orientations mean, of course, teamwork people that tends to prefer to work in a team, especially when resolving problems or completing a project. They also more readily accept to work on team projects when asked. A disadvantage of a higher level of team orientation could be a lack of motivation in work environments that require little teamwork and also less effectiveness in environments where people are expected to work on their own. A sample item could be I prefer to work 3 hours within a team than 1 hour alone. And in order to appreciate this trait, we can take a look at the traits of tolerance, independence of mind, dominance, and also persuasion.